This is Sunniva.
And this is Johannes.
And you're watching Board Gaming Ramblings.
And today we are ranking 23 Stefan Feld games from worst to best. Stefan Feld is one of our favorite designers.
Yes.
And today we are ranking the games. We have chosen to not include some of the very small games that we kind of have played many years ago and don't remember too much about. So today we are ranking only bigger box games. Many of them we own.
Yes.
Some of them we don't. If you didn't see our Uwe Rosenberg game list, you can go and check that out. And this is going to be the same way where we have almost all of the games. But we're just going to jump straight into it because we have 23 games to talk about. And we are probably not going to talk 10 minutes about each. So it's not going to be like a 3-hour long video.
We'll see.
We will see.
First off,
yes.
Number 23.
No, before that,
What?
I thought you were going to say something else. Because when you see this, it's soon going to be Gen Con. And we're going to be at Gen Con, so we're just going to tell you that at the beginning of each video. And if you see us at Gen Con, come up to us, talk to us, because we like talking to people about board games and other stuff. And if you don't want to talk to us, or if you just want to do the secret sign anyways, because it's fun, do the secret sign, and we will know that you have seen our videos. So now, we are going into the ones. So you know you can begin.
Let's get down to business.
Yes.
23 is the Castles of Tuscany.
Oh, I'm going to get it?
Yes. Oh, it's over there. It's so much bigger than I thought it would be.
And I'm going to place it out there.
Yeah, we have called this, this is like a simplified version inspired by Castles of Burgundy.
You're using the wrong word.
Okay.
It's a boring version of Castles of Burgundy.
Yes. It's boring.
Yes.
That's what I forgot. So that's why it's the lowest on the list.
We did a video actually the first time we played the game. We filmed it, so you can go and check out how much fun we had while we played that one. Next up is going to be another one we don't have. It is Revolution of 1828. This is one of the smaller ones, but it's not as small as the ones I didn't include. A small 2-player only. It was kind of fun. You are trying to win these different sides for the Revolution of 1828. It's a political style game. It's very abstract. It was a fun one that we felt like we were,
Oh, I had fun with it. It
Yes.
feels very little like a Feld game. I
Yes.
would not guess that was a Feld design if I had not known.
No, so if I now took the game out to you and you had to guess, would you be able to guess it?
Because I know it.
Yes,
Yes, and
yes.
we're filming a Stefan
And
Feld
also
list.
it says on the box.
Oh yeah,
So yeah.
that too.
Next up we have
Next
another
up.
one and we own it, even though it's very low on the list.
21 is Number Bruges.
It's Number Bruges. Yes, it is correct. Bruges is 21 numbers. So Bruges, tell me a little bit about it.
It's set in the city of Bruges, and you're playing cards, which is in different colors to do different actions. You're trying to manage these different problems, threats,
Yes.
kind of, and you're trying to score points. The problem for us with this game is that it feels very random because it's got both dice
Rolling,
drawing.
that's the same for everyone.
Yes, but also card drawing. So we have played a new version also.
Yes.
Didn't fix the problems.
It was fine.
But we have decided to keep this one because of nostalgia, kind of.
Do you know why we're keeping this one?
Because it's impossible to get.
Yes.
That's the only reason, right?
And also, one of my main goals in life is to be in Bruges while playing Bruges, while watching the movie in Bruges.
Yeah.
That would be like the best.
One of the highest one on the bucket list.
Yes. Next up is another one we don't have, which is Jorvik, which is the version most people know, but it's a variant, or it's a new version of the Speicherstadt, which was only released in English, no, in German. It is a very nice game, actually. I really enjoyed it. It's a very interesting bidding game where you bid by placing in a queue, and the player who placed first get to buy the thing first, but he has to pay as much as the many people who wanted to buy it. So when he skips it, it's going to be cheaper for the next one, and it's a super interesting game. The problem is that the full game is the absolute best, and it's the best with 5 people, but then it just ends up being too long. And I love the concepts of it, I just don't love doing it.
Yeah, the queue system is really cool. It's a super fresh mechanism, but it's the whole thing that makes it like, I'm not fan of everything together, kind of. And next up is Merlin. And I think Merlin is a hard one to kind of see why I don't like it that much. but it didn't. You have opinions on this.
Yes, but you speak first. I was just waiting.
I think it's cool with the 3 dudes that you move around on the thing. It's the 3, right?
Yes, I think it's 3 with expansion. But why do you not have it then if you think it's so cool?
No, I don't think it's so cool. I think the other games on this list is better.
But they are cooler.
Better.
Cooler.
Yeah, they're more cool.
Yeah, I had Merlin. I did a review for Merlin when you were not living in the same place as me.
Yes.
So you didn't play it. I did not like it a lot, even though it was Stefan Feld. It was one of the first videos I made. So if you want to go and see me being not very good at doing videos and being even worse at things than I am now, you can go and watch that. But I and people disagree with me on this, and that's fine. But some of the luck aspects just didn't work for me. Many Stefan Feld games have luck aspects, but I feel often that they're better mitigated than they were in Merlin. And somebody said you have to get the expansion. So then, of course, I bought the big box.
Yeah. And then I got to play it.
And then we called it.
Yeah, but I think it's a decent game, absolutely. I just think his other designs are better.
Next up, we're gonna have a game called Notre Dame. This is another one that I'm keeping for one reason. It is because I want to like it more than I do. It is an older one of his designs, and it is one that it's pretty simple. It has a very nice drafting system with cards.
Yeah.
You're playing these different cards to move around and do actions. And the more you do an action, the better the action becomes, which is something I really enjoy in these games, or in these games. In all games, as a mechanism I am a fan of. Notre Dame is one that it never clicked with me to the point where I was like, oh, I love this, but it's a classic game. It's a nice little game. It only takes like an hour, 45 minutes to an hour to play. So it's a very
And it's like the perfect shades of beige all the way through, which we really enjoy.
There's no colors in the game. Not colors allowed.
Next up is Amerigo, and this is a game with a big box. It also has a really weird component, which is a cube tower.
The tower of
it's
cubes.
The first time Stefan Feld has used a cube tower in his game, and that the cubes that come out are like the actions that you can take, and also how many cubes decide how good that action is.
Yeah.
I think it's a cool game, absolutely cool, with the Tetrimino style puzzling on the islands, but it's one round too long.
Yes.
So you feel like in the next to last round you've done like almost what you wanted to do, and then the game should stop, because that's the best feeling. And then the last round you're just like, oh, but I've done everything now. What am I supposed to do? So that's why I don't feel like I'm coming back for more.
I heard a story. I don't know if it's true, but that it's from Queen Games, and Queen Games had Shogun, which also had the cube tower.
Yeah.
I heard a story that Stefan Feld was asked to make a game with cube towers because they had cube towers. I don't know if it's true, but I heard it. Source, people on the internet. So it has to be either true or false. Yes, that's that one. Next up is me. It's going to be La Isla. This is the last one we don't have. We kind of recently did a keeper call for this one. I'm saying recently, it's probably a long time ago because time flies by.
We played a new version,
Yes,
though.
we did. We played the new and the old, and I actually enjoyed the new one. I liked quite a bit, but we didn't end up keeping it because it was just too much stuff for such a short game. But if you are to get one of them, La Isla is a smaller, nicer one, but the other one is a better game. I would just feel like it's too much setup, too much stuff to do for such a short game. But this is one I enjoy as well. And La Isla, if you enjoy most of the lighter games, La Isla is a perfect one.
Yeah, I really like La Isla for what it is, but it is too light for me. It sounds stupid, but I want a game with more crunch.
Yes.
But if you want a puzzle with, it has multi-use cards, it has like these kind of shares-ish, yeah, you're the more...
the tracks with the movement, yeah.
With the animals, and you want to capture the animals, so you have to like surround it with your meeples. A clever game for sure.
Yes.
Next up is, and we're beginning to tap into the ones that we actually keep in the collection, and that is Strasbourg. I remember when Strasbourg came out, I was really excited for it.
I don't think you remember when it came out, because I think it came out like in 2011. So before you start playing board games.
I remember when I heard about it, that it had come out, and I thought it sounded really cool. But this is an auction game, and I'm not a fan of auction games. So even though I think it's a fun game, this is a hard game for me to play.
This is basically 36 auctions in a row. And that's the whole game.
I don't know why.
That's it.
That's why I don't like it as much.
I think it's a fun game. I think that it is very different from many of the other Stefan Feld games, and I like it for that. So that is Strasbourg. Next up, we have the least Stefan Feld game of the ones that is left, and that is Coco Pally. This is it doesn't feel like Stefan Feld almost at all, but it is very clever. It's a card game where you are trying to get these different cards, trying to score them in the best possible way, getting sets of cards, and there's so many different possibilities and combinations of playing cards. A shorter game, 45 minutes, 2 players. I think you play like in 30 minutes. It worked very well with 2, even better with more if I remember correctly. A super cool game, Coco Pally.
Yeah, I agree that it feels very little like Stefan Feld, but I was so surprised when we played it. I was like pleasantly surprised. It would, surprisingly fun.
Yes.
Surprise, surprise.
Surprise, surprise.
Next up is Rialto. This is a cool game, but it is.
Welcome to Board Gaming Ramblings, where games are cool and cool.
I was trying to think about how to describe it, because in this game you are first choosing these like hands of cards, and then you are using those to kind of bid on actions, and then only the player who is like the best at bidding gets to do that action.
No, everyone gets to do it, but you get a bonus.
You get to do it better.
Yes.
And you want to have like control over these different areas of the city, and then it's really cool to see which areas do I want to focus on and which hands do I want to have, because you want to do everything, of course, but you can't do that. So do you want a really diverse hand where you're trying to sneak in on many actions, or do you want to like take the hand of cards that is like, I have to do that one action, I have to be the best at?
Yeah. It's another one that's it's very simple to teach, and it's pretty straightforward, pretty quick, but I always enjoy my time when I play it. I kind of always get surprised how much I like it. There was another, you will see in this video, and we haven't kept almost any of the new versions because we like most of the older versions.
Yeah, because we played a new version of this, but I like the original better.
Next up, we're gonna have Luna. Luna, always when I think about Luna, I think about the first time I tried to play it. You weren't there. I tried to play it with a friend, and we read the rules. This is one of the few times I tried to read the rules while playing the game, and we got to a part in the rules where nothing made sense because I read it completely opposite of what it was supposed to be. So I was like, but then the game doesn't work, and we just gave up. But it's a very interesting game. It's a rondel game where you have these people swimming from island to island. It's a very weird thing. I like these people trying to swim around the island. No. They call like swim. They're swimming when they're outside the island.
Really?
I'm pretty sure. And they swim around, and then you get to do the action. You try to be where the builder is, so you can build. You try to not be where the acolyte, I think is called, the angry person is, because he will not kill you but do horrible things. You try the cult, and then you try to have the majority of the... We can show the back of the box.
Yeah.
You have the majority thing with the middle here, where you try to place out tiles on it. And it is a very... many Stefan Feld games, people feel like they are the same. I will say that many Stefan Feld games feel very different.
I agree.
And this is another one that feels very different.
Yeah, because I was about to say, this feels like a different Stefan Feld game, but then I look at and it's a lot of variability here. So it's a wide range.
You can say, like, we did another one, last one for Uwe Rosenberg, and you can say that more of his games have similar design things than Stefan Feld have, I will say.
And we'll also say, when we did the Uwe Rosenberg ranking, there was, like, when we got to the bottom, I was less and less excited for games, but, like, I'm excited for almost all of these games.
I will also say that board games are fun.
Yeah,
Do you have anything?
And I will also say that the next one that we're going to talk about is Amsterdam.
What? We kept a city collection game?
Yeah, we've actually kept... this is the
only one that is the older version, yeah.
But this is Macau originally.
Yeah.
I really like Amsterdam/Macau. The clever thing here is that you draft dice.
The cubes.
Cubes! Yeah. Thank you. and how many cubes you
depending
get.
on dice, yeah.
Yes. How many cubes you get also dictates how many rounds there will be till you get them. So if I draw
So clever.
5
Blue.
green,
Sorry, green was your example.
then I will not get them until 5 rounds. And if I draw just 1 red, I will get it now.
Yes.
So you have this overweighing thing all the time, and you also want to, because you're having these like contracts that you want to fulfill, so you can't wait too long either to get these cubes. So you can't have like collecting everything, and in 20,000 rounds I'm getting 20,000 resources and be the coolest person. That doesn't work. So very clever mechanisms in this game.
I agree. Now we are into the top 10. So welcome to the second video of this video, the top 10 board games by Stefan Feld. We're going to start with one that I know many people do not like that much, and it's weird. It's the Oracle of Delphi, or Das Oracle von Delphi, which is called this German version of the game. It is kind of weird, because the Oracle of Delphi is known by many to be a luckier Stefan Feld.
Yeah.
And it's very different. Yeah. Like, it's a racing game. It's like this. It's racing not like around a track, but you're racing to do these different missions. And it's interesting because many people have said, oh, this is one of the luckiest one, but I never felt it. Because I feel that the mitigation is kind of simple to work with here. And I have so many ways to be able to do the things I have to, or the things I want to. I have to change things, but I get to do special powers. I get to upgrade my actions. There's so many ways to get around those dice rolling luck. This is one that, again, like when we talk about these games, I like, because many people, and including me, I feel, oh, this is very Feld. This is very like Stefan Feld. But when I look at these games and the games coming up, as we already said, I just feel it again that there's so many different games.
Yeah.
Because I wouldn't be like, oh, but we have Strasbourg, so we don't need Oracle of Delphi, because they're so different.
Yeah.
What do you feel about this one?
Yeah, I agree with you. When people say, oh, this is too random, usually in randomness, I'm very picky in games.
Yes.
But I really like this one. And
Yeah.
as you said, this is a game where if you don't get like the dice rolls that you need, you have to be quick on your feet and make other plans. If you have decided, oh, I'm going to that island, so I have to wait for the blue die, for example, then yeah, you're gonna have a hard time. So if you're not prepared to do maneuvers that you weren't like thinking about, that was your plan A, then of course you're going to be disappointed when the blue die doesn't come up. But as you said, there's many ways to manipulate the dice, and that is what makes the dice games that Stefan Feld has so fun.
I agree.
Next up is Carpe Diem.
No dice in this one.
No, what I really like about Carpe Diem, because it's kind of one of his simpler, shorter games.
Yes.
You have always on your turn, you have like 2 paths to move, and you go and take one of the 4 tiles that are there, and you're trying to place them into your grid, trying to make these enclosures, buildings to get stuff. The coolest thing about this is the scoring.
Yes.
Because at the end of everyone's actions, we are placing out a little like circle between 2 cards, and then you choose which one of them.
No, you score both of them.
You score both of them.
You have to score both of them.
Yes, unless you have bread, so you don't get to need to score everything. But they're so hard, and at like the end of the game, it gets so cut short.
Yes.
And or turn order is so important in this game.
Because
That's
basically, if you don't manage to do the mission, you will get negative points. So it's it's kind of funny because it's quite a light game, but then again, it's kind of hard. That scoring part of it makes it super cool. Next up is another one I know that many people don't enjoy too much, and that is Aquasphere. This is one that I always enjoyed. It is not, I'm not going to call it a programming game, but you have like this pot which you move your worker on a laboratory, and then that tells you what action you can do. And then after that, depending on where you move, then you have other choices. We played another game with that recently.
Yeah, the Algae Inc. I was thinking about.
Oh yes, that's the one. Really
because
cool game.
Because it has kind of the same branching.
And here you are moving around. There's a timing mechanism or time mechanism where you spend time moving your bots around this underwater lab. You're trying to get rid of the octopods. You're trying to score different missions, get cards that give you special powers, And it's a very cool game. I always enjoyed it, and every time I play it, I'm like, oh, I really like this one. Again, it's very different.
Yeah, the first time I played it, I didn't like it, but then it has really grown on me, so I quite enjoy it now. Next up, we have Forum Trojanum. This is one of his newer games, and this also feels very different from each other.
So when
games.
do you think this is from?
2018.
That's correct.
Ah, yay!
Yes.
I hadn't looked at the box actually.
Because that's already 6 years, so it's kind of hard to say.
But it is one of his newer games.
Yeah, it's...
If you look away from if you ignore the city reprints.
Yeah. But it's still some of the newer games because some of these are very old. But I was like thinking, oh, is it 2021, 22?
But this is quite an interactive game. I think for a Feld game to be, because like the concept of getting workers from others and using the different colors, and this is a game that I remember being very tight.
Yeah.
You have always too few of everything, but especially like the using of the different workers is really interesting.
And I really enjoy the fact that, like, again, it's a game where the premise is very simple. You're going to draw 2 tiles, you're going to look at them, and then you're going to choose one to do and one to send to another player. You're going to get other tiles, and then, so you're getting, no, you're doing 3, I think, and you're getting 2, but you're going to like choose from these tiles, and that's going to tell you what you get to do. Next up is going to be Trajan. Trajan is, for me, mostly this high because of the Mancala.
Yes.
Like, because all the other things, the mini games, as we always call them, are there for the Mancala to work.
Yeah.
Because the Mancala is the game, and then everything else. We talked about this in Ada Stream as well recently, that basically all the actions you do aren't that interesting, but the drafting mechanism and the things you do with this, and you need to do actions, or else it would be boring. So this is one of those games where I can plan 10, 12 rounds ahead, because I know, okay, but then I place this, and I'm going to move there, then I'm going to move there, then I'm going to move there, scoring that, boom, 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 boom. Because of the Mancala, the picking up and dropping them around, trying to score and doing landing specific places to score the Trojan the pieces, and there's all the mini games. I'm not saying they're boring, but they are there. But there are different paths to take, different things to do. I will always enjoy Trajan, basically.
I agree. The Mancala system is really interesting, and not just like the amount of pieces that you're moving, but also what color you place in each like little pot.
Yeah.
But as you said, the mini games in itself are just like you get excited for them because you are excited for the Mancala system.
And excited for getting points.
Yeah.
Because points are good. Now
Yeah.
we are going into a newer game.
A real
actual
newer
newer game.
Yes, it's Marrakesh.
This is so fun.
This is a great game. I think I gave it a 9 or something.
I think I gave it a 2.
Number 5?
Yes.
Yeah, so we were in the top 5 now. This also has a cube tower.
It does.
Which I never thought I would see in another Feld game.
No, and I heard a story that this is a Queen Games, and they
still had
they
cube
had
towers
cube
left.
towers from Amerigo.
Yeah.
And they wanted to make it. No, I never heard that story.
What I think about in Marrakesh, which is really cool, is that everyone is at the beginning of the round, you're choosing which 2 colors that you will like contribute into the mix, and the turn order is so important in this game, because if I know I'm going to be first, I will put up something in the actions that I want to do. But if somebody else is first, I know that they're going to snag those pieces.
Yes.
So I will then do something that I'm not so interested in. So interesting.
And this also has the thing from Notre Dame, which I spoke about earlier, that the more you do an action, the better it becomes. So you upgrade your action every time you do it.
Super cool.
There is a problem with the cube tower, and I know there is a new version of the cube tower inlays. I don't know if there is possible to get them. If there is, I would like to get them, because it makes the cube tower work better. We never had a huge problem with it, but it is a part of the game which doesn't work as well as the rest of it. Now we're getting into even higher. This is number 4. This is one of the oldest games from Stefan Feld, In the Air of the Dragon. This is from 2000 and...
7.
Yes.
Really?
What is going on?
I'm just guessing. I'm really good at it right now.
In the Air the Dragon is one of the tightest Stefan Feld games. It's not a point salad by any means. It's a try not to die salad, which is a nice salad. It's best played with 5 players because then it's going to be horrible for everyone. And it is so tight. You get to do one action each turn. You always want to do the action that everybody else wants to do, so you want to be first. But if to be first, you have to place cards that lets you move on the warrior tracks that you are further ahead in player order. You are trying to score points. You're trying to not die. It doesn't explicitly say that you die, but you do because you don't have enough rice or fireworks. And also you get to play these different. And that's basically where the strategy comes from, playing these different character cards. It gives you special powers, special bonuses, doing different actions better than other actions, all in a great little package. Only takes like an hour and 15 minutes with 5 players, which is amazing.
Yeah, and you want to do everything, and like if you want to build more roofs on your building so you can house more people, then you should do it right now. But right now you really need that rice because you're gonna die if you don't get rice. And also
it doesn't explicitly say that you die.
If the house, then the person goes away, travels to some mystical place.
To a farm in the countryside.
Then that's bad too. So it's such a hard game.
Welcome to the 3rd video of this video. Oh.
Top 3. It's Bonfire.
Yes.
Is it upside down?
No.
What?
No, I just wasn't allowed to say the thing I was saying.
Go.
Oh, yeah. Yes. Top 3 board games on Stefan Feld. What can number 3 be? Oh, it's a surprise. Nobody sees this one coming.
Bonfire.
It's never been in the video before.
Aha. Bonfire is also one of his newer games. When was this released?
When was this released?
2020? 21? 20?
2020 is correct.
2020.
Yes. 2020.
This is a cool game. This is but it
is my least favorite game of all time.
We played this recently, and it's
It's fun.
Yeah, it is.
Yes. And how does the action mechanism work?
Yeah, because you're placing these 3 symbols and trying to connect them to the other symbol.
Yes.
So again, the actions that you have chosen a lot get better if you clump them together. And
then you will get action tiles, which you then use to do actions.
But everything is connected in this game.
It's all connected.
You want to travel to these different islands to pick up these different missions.
Yes.
And then you want to fulfill the missions. But for the missions to kind of work and give you extra points, you want to have these portals, and you also want to have the
guardians.
And the guardians. So there's so many things, and you can't do them all.
And you can't forget the gnomes. You need to have the gnomes as well, because they will help you get points and abilities.
Yeah, so there's kind of a race factor in there as well, trying to do these things as fast as possible, so you get like extra bonuses and stuff. Such a clever game.
It's a fantastic game, and we are down to the top 2 games by Stefan Feld. If you know his games, you're going to be very surprised. Next one is going to be Bora Bora. Bora Bora is a fantastic game. You are rolling your dice, and then you're going to be like, no, I only got low dice, but then you can be, placing them out so nobody else can do the action that you wanted to do, even though you got to do it horribly. This is one where you try to do everything of a few things, because you're scoring bonus points at the end of the game for every category where you did every single thing, and it's so hard to get there, and it's so easy for the other players, especially in some of the categories, to block you from doing that. You're trying to maximize your points, get special abilities from the different tiles that you buy and use upgrades, trying to manipulate turn order because that's super important, trying to place your tiles, trying to score the fish, trying to do so many cool things. I love it. Bora Bora.
I agree. As you said also, this is in the same category as Bonfire.
It's a game by Stefan Feld.
It is, yes, hence this list. Well, you want to do like really good in one thing, but everything is connected. So to get the shells that you need to buy the jewelry, then you need to have all these people living in your village, and then you need to put the hats out on the map. So yeah, a very difficult game.
Did you say put the hats on the map or the huts?
Hats.
Yes,
the hats.
Because they kind of look like a hat, but I don't think they're hats.
We played Cusco as well, the new version. That was worse, in my opinion.
I agree.
We have kept Bora Bora.
Because it's not...
And it also isn't a monster to put on the table.
And it's not boring.
It's not boring.
Number 1 is going to be a huge surprise to nobody in the world.
It's The Castles of Burgundy.
Yay!
It's perfection.
Yes.
It's my favorite game of all time. So I think it's needless to say, but this is one of my favorite games it's my favorite game to play, but I prefer it a 2-player. I just have to say that, because with 2 it goes snappy like this. It's so fun, and it is interaction in the drafting. Like you could have people draft the tiles that you want, but other than that, the interaction isn't big.
Nope.
So I think this is a game that I prefer at 2 players.
This exciting game is challenging and brings out the competition for an evening of fun.
Yeah, that's true.
And this one we own just for nostalgia.
Yes, we have the new cool version
from Awakened Realms. So that is going to be that. That's going to be all of the 23 Stefan Feld games.
Which one is the keep pile and which is the cull pile?
All of them are keeps!
Ha!
So yeah, I'm going to say it again. If you are going to be at Gen Con, please say hi. I'm not going to tell them to do the secret sign, all of that. And that's going to be the end of this video. If this video gave you anything of value, you can help us out in a very big way by giving us a victory point.
And we get victory points when you click that subscribe button. You can also click bell to get notifications every time we use the video.
Bell!
Click
That's
bell.
going to be the end of this video. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Johannes.
I'm Cinema.
And you've been watching Board Gaming Ramblings. And bye-bye.